Welcome back to the sawmill, people. Just got back from lunch. Wife had to use my phone, so I apologize that you're going to miss this top cut here, but got something interesting for you. So I think there may have been, if you didn't watch the previous video, milling out the maple 1x6s that are right there, definitely maple 1x6s, for Mike Trotto. And he was saying that he thought they were sycamore. Got something interesting. I just topped off this second log while my wife was trying to get some of the holiday photos out of my phone, because her phone's messed up for taking pictures, and she's getting a new phone for Christmas. But she just came out, gave me my phone back, and I've already made the top cut, but I want to show you something, and I think we got sycamore. It's really interesting. So it's a really funky shaped log, somewhere around 6 feet long. And I just made the top cut, and this is not a maple. This is not the same log as we milled earlier. You can see the different color in the middle. Smells, doesn't smell like maple. So I'm guessing that there's a possibility that this is a sycamore. It's beautiful grain. Same Stellicut band. Like I said before, I can still see some lines in the cut. It's not perfectly smooth, but cut pretty good. If I get you way in close, I mean, these lines are basically nothing. Cut perfectly smooth on this cut. So I didn't even get any waves coming in and out of that big difference in the width there. But this is an interesting piece. It does have some dirt on it, and my tendency right now, because if you see underneath, you see that big chunk right there? My tendency right now is to want to drop 6 inches and see if I could take a 6-inch, because he wants 1x6s, a 6-inch slab out of this down to like here. I don't know if I have enough. I don't know. Actually, it looks like my stops are low enough. If I could take a 6-inch slab out of this right now, that's going to be the majority of this log, because he wants 1x6s. And actually, if you look at the pith, the pith is pretty much centered right now. You pretty much got, 3 inches above. I go 3 inches below. The bottom half of this log kind of sucks. There could be a board in that. There's at least one board in that. Just the way it worked out. I mean, there could be a board. It's going to be kind of thin there. And I don't think there's really anything in the bottom of this. Just looking at the side where that big rotten limb comes in, if I take 6 inches out of this, it's going to be like right down to the top of that. There's not going to be a lot else good here. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to see if I got clearance to drop down 6 inches, take a chunk out of this, probably shit the rest of it for now. And let's see how it goes. I can square it up and just mill it out at 6-inch boards, just like the real maple over here, and get this log out of the way. It's not a very good log, so this would be a good slab log. If you look at the grain in this, it's really pretty. This one, it would be a good couple of slabs here, but that's about it. So I think I'm going to set you guys up and try and drop down 6 inches, take a 6-inch slab off this, get that thing tossed off the mill. I'm going to have to get the chunk off and see if we get the 6-inch slab back up on the mill, tossed on its. Oh, you know what I could do is I could flip it right over, then I don't have to do that. If I flip it over, if I flip it over, put this down, and then I can come up 6 inches off the deck, cut it off, take the top off, and then I don't need to worry about taking this off. So let's try to do that. Let's see if we can do that. But it's really pretty wood. Just this log is a piece of shit, unfortunately. So let's see if we get it flipped over without throwing it off the mill. Yeah, this top half has got a big, huge inclusion in here. See if I can, how far this will go in. Yeah, it goes in up to here. There's an inclusion that deep in it. Oh, it's not going to be very good, period. It's not going to be a very good piece. That sucks. That's what happens when you bring me shitty logs and say, well, mill them into 1x6s, which would make no sense for this log whatsoever. But I don't see really a good way of doing it. Come on. Come on over. So if I come up 6, that inclusion's still going to be in it somehow. And I don't want to do a lot of slicing down on this thing like George would do it. Middlefield Custom Sawmill. George would just slab through this thing, and unfortunately I can't do that on this log. There's no real good way about it. I'm going to see if I can just get up enough to hold it. Get up 2, I'm going to shove it over. Try and take a 6-inch slab off. We'll take this junk top piece. Now, if it was my log and I was trying to get the maximum out of it, I'd probably mill the shit out of these slab cuts and get as much material as I can. It's just not a very good log. And unfortunately, like George does, it's not a slab log. That's going to be close. I think that might be okay. So if I can hold it right here, it's going to twist a little bit when I cut it, but yeah, come up 6 inches and take this top off. We'll see where that lands. Maybe we can do something else, but I know there's going to be shit in here in this huge inclusion, and I hate to cut through it and broach a band. But I mean, it's kind of the fat lady that we're dancing with right now. If I could get it up 6, cut it off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to make a mark at 6, and then come up to 7 1/8, 8 1/4. See if I can skim off and maybe get a few boards out of this top chunk. I think that makes the most sense. We'll see if it twists a lot. If it doesn't twist a lot, I'll cut it just the way it is. If it does twist a lot, I'm probably going to have to move that far stop over and clamp it off. But let's see what we can do with it just the way it is. So I just don't want to screw this band on this one log. So there's a possibility he was right, that there is a sycamore here. So we're going to go down to 6. That's where we want to cut it in half. And we could cut it, I don't think we could, well, we could pretty much cut it in half right there. I might even be able to get 2. Let's come up to 12 and an eighth. See where that is and see if we get two 6-inch chunks out of it. You know, I think we can. Let's try to do that. Let's see if we can take it off right here at 12 and an eighth and drop down 6 and 6. I think it works. That was an interesting way of doing it. Chuck this off this side. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm going to scrape this and show it to you. I'm going to scrape this and show it to you. We're actually going to get some boards out of this. We will get some 1x6s out of this piece. But this is gorgeous. Beautiful wood. What a shame that there's that huge inclusion in it down there. So really neat burl section here. They're not going to be huge 1x6s, but they will be 1x6s. I guarantee you that. It all depends on how much this hole, so you can see, whoops, sorry. See that hole on the side there. I can't see through the viewfinder right now, but see that big hole there and how far that goes? That goes way in. Look at some of this wood here. If I can get out of the sun. This is really pretty. It's a neat color. I'm going to guess if he thought this was sycamore that this is sycamore. I don't know that I've ever cut sycamore before. It's got really nice, God, some beautiful. It's too bad it's not slabbed because these would be pretty slabs. Till we get down into that one hole down in here that goes way in there. Right here. So we're going to try and take a 6-inch slab off. Throw it off the mill. And then take the fat section on the bottom that's going to be 6 inches wide and throw it up on its side, mill it out into 1x6s like you want it. Let's make sure I can get back here. You're probably going to get a better view over here just because I'm not going to be throwing anything up on the table right now. This fat chunk is going to come off the top down here. Yeah, I see. It's the only way I see it doing it. This hole in here is going to wreck a lot of this. What a pretty piece of wood too. Gorgeous. What a shame that this is what he wants because it's really a bad use of this log. There was no good way of doing it. There was really no good way of doing it. All right, so let's see if we can drop down 6, take a chunk off it. Or drop down to 6, which is 6. So we're coming down from 12 and an eighth down to 6 inches, and we're going to try and cut it into 2 chunks. And definitely clear there. Well, let's try it right here. Let's see what happens. band is still cutting great. It'd be awesome if I could just flip this chunk up and just mill it into chunks, but I'm milling into boards, but I don't think I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this piece over. So I can get that piece on the front of the forks. So hopefully I can get that back up here. You can tell how flat it cut because of how easy it is to move this 6-inch. Wow, that sucks. It's a huge hole in here. Damn it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my door off and we're going to come in with the Bobcat. We're going to lift it off normal like. Get this thing out of the way. We'll come in with the forks. I'm trying to drop this in the dirt. See if we can get it on the forks now. Then we can put it back up here afterwards and flip it on its side, try and get as many 1x6s as we can out of it. Definitely going to be pretty wood. The bad part is, and I'll show you in a second. Wow, damn it. So we got a good chunk where we're going to get 1x6s out of here, and then we're going to get some shorter 1x6s out of the top. I'll scrape it off and I'll show you what a pretty chunk of wood it is. Beautiful. These would have been cool slabs instead of 1x6s, but we'll make the best out of it. Just for full disclosure, I should not have tilted up like I just did. If I had a fork in the edge of that thing, it would have caused all kinds of mayhem. That was a bad decision to tilt up like that. When you go out of this situation, you want to just back straight up. Wow, what a pretty piece of wood. What a huge inclusion in it. I'll show you this. This is really pretty. That band is cutting great. I'll show you what this looks like. So you see, it's a, wow, really pretty piece of wood. Beautiful color. Gorgeous, except for this right here. So most of our long 1x6s are going to come from under here. And we'll get a few up top up here too. Hopefully there's not a big chunk of dirt in there that's going to roach our band. One of the problems with this is it needs to be flipped back. That's going to stink. I need to flip this all the way over because that side down there is flatter. As you can see, what a pretty slab log that would have been, but you got a much straighter side over here. That side needs to be on the bottom. It's not going to work out with that big chunk right there. So let's see if we can man up and get this thing flipped all the way over. It'd be better if I could hook on it and flip it backwards, but it's too wide. Not really exactly sure how I'm going to do this, to be honest with you, because these stupid log dogs on a Norwood mill are not below the bunks, and that sucks. So what happens is when it slides this way, it stuffs in the log dog. And we sat in a meeting up at Norwood, and I was like, oh, you got to get your log dogs below your bunks. They're like, oh, they are. Like, no, they're not. They're not. Here, ready? Here's my log dog all the way down. Stuck. So when you got a big wide log like this, when it slides off and it rolls over, it'll stuff in that and you can't get it out. So let's see if we can flip this thing. I need a stop so it doesn't flip off the mill. So see if we can get it rolled over. We got to roll it twice so we can get this on the bottom. Then we can mill the top off it and get a flat spot. Take a couple of boards off it, and then we'll flip it over. See, right now it's too much at an angle because that hump is on the bottom. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Okay, now we'll get it all the way up like this. Oh, we got to shove it over first. Then get it up like this, and we can square it up. And then we'll take it down from the top. We'll steal some boards out of it. Don't want this to kick over right now. If you step in here like I am right now, if this thing slides out, thing's going to snap your leg. You got to be really careful on this third side like this. Okay, it's resting perfectly square. All right. All right. It's not really good. This is way softer wood than that maple. Like way softer. Okay. So now we should be able to come down and take the top off this. Start skimming boards until we get past here. Then we'll flip the whole thing over and we'll mill it out from the other side and get all our good boards in that chunk down to that rot section. Looks like the way to go. We can do this on 1-inch scale. So when we do flip it over, we can use the 4/4 scale. Should work out both ways. So there's a 4/4 there. Looks like go up one more. There's 4/4 there. That looks like the top. We can take it off right there. I'm going to kick these off this way. Wow, what pretty wood. Holy shit. Beautiful. We drop 4/4 down. We're going to get at least one 4/4 board out of this. Right now I'm at like 6 feet and 3/4. We're going to drop down, take one 4/4 board off, and probably flip it all the way over. Maybe a couple more. We'll see what happens. So this one goes to 15 and 5/8. Well, let's go up and take one more. 60, 15, it's 2, 14 and a half. Let's see what that leaves us here. Let's get a couple of these boards off. Wow, is this pretty wood? Absolutely gorgeous wood. These are beautiful. Now we're kind of into this rot inclusion here. Now, one of the reasons why I don't just keep going down just the way it is it's really unstable the way it is right now. We want to flip this thing over. Wow, is that pretty? These are really pretty boards. We are going to get some good, decent boards out of this that'll be that long. I would keep going down, but it's just don't know. Well, feels stable enough. Let's take a few more out of it. Hell with it. Let's take a few more out of it. If it stays stable, let's keep going. $13 3/8. Should be 12 1/4. Which should be 11 1/8. Oh, take another one. This one should be 10 inches exactly. Just so you guys know, 10 inches is on 1-inch scale. Let's take another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 7/8 should be the next one. Then we'll take these off. We'll take a look at the wood. I gotta check my stops before I go that deep. I clear here. I don't think I clear on the next cut. So let's do this. Just take this one and we'll flip it over. beautiful. It's pretty much past all the rot now, or the inclusion, whatever you want to call it. Let's take these boards off. I'll show you some of them here. And we'll flip it over and we'll mill it out. Wow, these pretty. Holy shit. These are gorgeous. So get one more down here for you to look at. I'll show you the grain on these. Grain's beautiful. I did end up hitting a chunk of wood that was in that inclusion that kind of flung off and made a funny banging noise when I hit it. And it may have knocked the tooth out of set. I'll show you why I say that. But if you look at these here, look at the beautiful grain in these. Gorgeous. I know that the sawmill's casting a shadow down there, but holy crap. These are beautiful. The grain and the color is gorgeous. You want a 1x6s, well, he's getting them. See, we cut through 90% of that inclusion, so the top chunk is going to be pretty much all good wood. We flip it over. These are beautiful. Look at the color. These are really nice. So I am going to get these boards off. I'll probably pause you guys. I'll get these boards off, flip it over, and then come back when we're ready to cut the other side and show you some more. So I'm going to pause you. All right, so we got it flipped over. Let's knock the rest of this out. See where the top cut's going to be. I'm going to do that again with the other one, but you guys won't get to see that probably. That looks like the top cut right there. It's at 7 3/4. Shift the board, but it's all sapwood anyway, so we'll just drop them here. And it's 6 5/8. Do 5 1/2. Four 3/8. Oh, wind's blowing me. 3 1/4. 2 1/8. And 1 inch. Make sure our sawmill's off the sawdust is off the rail. Cut it at 1 inch, and this chunk is done. And we'll throw the other chunk up on here off camera. We'll mill that chunk too. Whoa. We're going to do the same thing with that other chunk, just off camera. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. A lot of good chunks out of this. This one's not the best board. They're just beautiful boards. I mean, it's amazing how beautiful the grain is on these. I'll scrape these off, let you see them. A little bit of up and down tension in them, which is fine on some of the top couple. Scrape this one off. Let you see these boards. Wow, these are beautiful. Holy smokes. What beautiful color. It's not that I don't agree with, well, I don't agree with his methodology here, but these are, God damn it. These are beautiful. I mean, the color in these is awesome. The grain is awesome. These are really, really pretty boards. And that band is still just, that band is cutting just unbelievable right now. These are gorgeous. So we got this one to do. We're going to do the same thing with that one that we just did with that one. We're going to put this one back up there. We're going to flip it up and we're going to mill it out the same way because it's 6 inches thick. And we're going to get a bunch of good boards out of it. But this is not maple. This, I believe, is sycamore, like he said. It's nothing that I've ever seen. It's not elm. But it's really pretty wood. We get a lot of it too. So this one log is going to end up being probably $100 log for him, but it's going to be worth it. He's going to get a shit pile of wood out of it. Not sure what he's going to do with the 1x6s, but he gets a bunch of good wood out of this one. It's really pretty stuff. Even with that inclusion, I think we did the best we could with it to deal with that inclusion. He gets plenty of wood on those ones that had the inclusion before it. He gets like 4 feet of good wood. So, yeah, it looks like a home run. Well, kind of, sort of. I'm going to throw that one back up here. We'll mill that one off. And then move on to the next one. We're going to a Christmas party tonight for Miskovsky Landscaping. Actually, if you see the back of this, this is a great Carhartt jacket. Kind of wish it didn't have Miskovsky stuff all over it, but he gave it to me years ago. I never wear it, but it is absolutely windproof and waterproof. It's really nice. Just got his logo all over it. He is the king of landscaping. So if you got $1 billion and you want to do your house with $1 billion in landscaping, if you have the money to spend to hire him, he's the guy to do it. Paul Miskovsky. So far, our band, absolute home run. It's running beautiful right now. I'm afraid I'm going to hit something at some point, but it's running gorgeous. It ran through that like it wasn't even there. Literally no resistance. It's cutting nice and smooth, cutting flat, cutting on dimension. It's really cutting well. So good times. I'm going to throw these up there, throw that other one up here, mill it out, and grab another log. Whether I will shoot that or not, I don't know, but we will see. So for Danny, who is over there hunting chipmunks still, and myself, this Power Solutions out.